It's time for Wang Yi-di, who has been carrying the mantle of the #1 seed comfortably enough, but she was given a struggle by her compatriot Tian Yi last time out. She has a good record against Shin Yubin. Of course, she's a 4-time WTT Series champion, but you have to go all the way back 7 finals ago to Frankfurt to find her last victory taste of silverware. This is the head-to-head. In terms of WTT, it's a 4-0. And in fact, in a career sense, it's 8-0. I'm going to bring Adam in just a moment because there have been other encounters, most recently one that saw Shin Yubin come a lot closer than she had done in the past. However, she doesn't, in WTT context, pick up a whole lot of games against her. Amanda Leung's in charge, as you can see, and she will now oversee the coin toss.
I have blue and red. Red for Shin, blue for Wang. Red, Shin won. Shin service. Shin choose receive. Which end?
Well, you can't say clearer than that. Thank you very much to Amanda Leung for laying things out for us there. Just going back, Adam, to that tail of the table, the head-to-head, and the most recent encounter. That wasn't one that was a blob, was it? So Shin Yubin, you feel, might be getting closer to the mighty Wang Yi-di.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, 0-8 is tough, but if you go the distance in your last encounter, the trajectory is only creating a pattern that leads to what should be a challenging match. And the form that Shin Yubin showed, this could be quite good. But the 28-year-old on screen is so compact. She's so strong through the legs. She adjusts incredibly well, and here's how she got here.
Yeah, there's that second of the matches she played, having got past Chong Yi-jing in really fine fashion. It was a struggle for her. She was on the brink of exiting here in Incheon, but she came through against her fellow countrywoman. So that was her pathway. And one of the things we've spoken about is the almost dismissive, brutal way in which this smiling assassin has gone about her business here in the Infinity Arena this week.
It's so funny. I've heard that as one of about 40 different nicknames for Sun Ying-sha, but she is smiling. She is adored. Shin Yubin left no smiles on Lily Zhang in the first round. Lily Zhang has beaten many inside the top 10. And Shin Yubin at 10 in the world just dismantled. And the same against Ellie Samara. This is a woman who has such incredible focus right now. She knows what she's up against, and with the home crowd behind her, she knows it's not going to be easy. It's going to take every bit of might and focus to do it.
Here's what they can really start thinking about now. You just feel when you get to the weekend that they can afford to start looking at those ITTF World Ranking points and the money that will come the way. 40,000, remember, for the winners of both the men's and the women's singles here. But that's all the talk. The clock is counting down to the start in this one. The fans see this as so close, and oh my, just a little edge for Shin Yubin. Popularity there.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine that plays a role here. Fans, well, that's sort of what fans come for, right? You're a likable personality, you're a hard-fighting spirit. They don't do it because they want to be famous. They're just admirable people. They're kind, they're hardworking, and they love their favorite sport. So they show up today, absolutely ready for a big test at work.
And they are going to be part of what will be a wonderful atmosphere, a wonderful occasion when it comes to elite-level sport. This is right up there, and it's going to be something that's going to entertain you and us. So here we go. Let's sit back and savor.
Wang to serve. Love all. One love.
Just as we get this one started, going back before we move on too far, Adam, there was that lovely little picture of her in the crowd with one of the fans, and we spoke about this in the wake of her round of 16 win. Shin Yubin is able to separate the fact that there's this off-court personality that the fans are adoring with what she does here, where it's all business, and we commented on that in the wake of that win over Samara.
Yeah, I think being shy or being soft as a personality is very different than winning table tennis matches. Lin Wenru knows it and knows it well. If you shut your eyes and there were an interview between Shin Yubin and Lin Wenru in English, you might not know who was who because they're both so gentle when they speak, but on the table it's a very different story.
And to turn that into a progressive point, as obvious as it may be, she needs to be at her most ruthless, professional, hard-nosed here against Wang Yidi, doesn't she?
She sure does, but she's going to have a very clear plan and be ready to abandon it quickly if she needs to.
What a great get. She was there when it came at her with heat from Wang Yidi.
Yeah, the form she's in right now, even when she's falling back from the table, there's quality as she comes through and over that wide forehand ball.
That tried its hardest to get over. And just to remind everybody, it's best of 7. We're in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, this is the first Champions event where we have best of 7 in the quarterfinals. So a bit more on the players here. Lee Da-chung watching on. Has done quite well by Wang Yidi and some other world-class players.
3-4. Let's 3-4.
I don't imagine I'm the only one thinking about it, but Hina Hayata, when she came up against Wang Yidi in Durban, had a similar record.
Let's. Ball not vertical.
Not vertical
3-4.
was the ruling.
More than,
in terms of the toss.
Sure. More than 30 degrees off of straight up in any direction.
5-3.
Yeah, records are there to be broken, aren't they? Obstacles to be cleared. And then that's where you're going, I presume, with that, right?
Yeah, it's sort of fuel to the fire. I think for Truls over the summer in Paris against Wang Chuqin, it was similar.
5-4.
But Hina Hayata specifically against Wang Yidi, it was looking grim, and she found a way through. So you know that when someone's been beaten many times and their job is winning, that they're quite motivated to come back with a plan.
Let's. The ball not vertical.
And again, so 1 each now. Amanda Leung tight on the serves.
5-4. Five-all.
5-all with a little bit of assistance. It's fun. Just to go back to that Lin Wen-ru mentioned earlier on. In his corner, making all the noise, cheerleading, and providing the stuff that he doesn't do on the table, he had Wang Yidi, right? So who have we got here
right.
for Shin Yubin?
Oh, Coach Stuck. Mi-eun.
5-6.
And I'd imagine she's not quite as voluble as Lin Wen-ru's coach. There she is.
Yeah, Wang Yidi is a fighter, man. He's a guy you want on your bench. Again, anger translator.
That's really impressive. Going both ways and punching with purpose.
Yeah, both of these shots parallel. Watch this cross-court, both shots from Wang Yidi, parallel both shots. Shin Yubin has to be the faster, has to be the more compact, takes the risks, but adds the topspin to it. Standing ovation from Coach Stuck.
The backhand duel broken by a decisive forehand from Wang Yidi.
Yeah, I love the change of rhythm in this. Shin Yubin doing quite wonderfully and adapting to everything. Wang Yidi finds the time there to turn, as you mentioned, from the middle.
Six, 8.
There's a quality to this contest already. Premium.
Yeah, I expected nothing less. This is what I love about watching this competition. You've got 32 of the best in the world from the first round, and it only gets tougher every single round.
6-9.
She wanted to run around. She did, and she made it count.
This shot was clean, sterilizing that ball on the step around. Full stroke forehand, untouchable on the other side. And
that time, venom in the backhand. We're seeing the variety and the quality that sets her apart and makes her the top seeded player. And she's given herself a chance to take away the first game here with 4 game points.
10-7.
Comes off the racket awkwardly here. Seemed like it might have caught the edge.
Eight, 10.
Now, nobody said it was going to be easy, in particular for Shin Yu-bin here. But she'll know she's going to have to maybe go the distance in this one.
Yeah, this first game, even in a best of 7, while it's a smaller piece of the pie, you want your opponent nervous. You want your opponent thinking about the what-ifs, the punishments, and all that.
Let's. 8-10. 11-8. First game to 1.
She pushed Wang-Yidi, but she succumbs, loses that first game to the top seed from China. Who knows that she's in for a battle here this evening in the Infinity Arena.
Yeah, Wang-Yidi's strong, very complete, very compact. She's adapting well to all the variation in spin, the change of pace, takes it 11-8.
Mom's here, right?
Yeah, Misun, Shin Yu-bin. It's funny, her dad's the coach. Keeping it humble, keeping it cool. I like it. She's like, my bangs good? Yep, they're good. All right. It's funny. I've played recently against Shin Yu-bin, and she spends a lot of time doing that exact same mannerism. While I'm trying to get coaching advice, she's just straightening the bangs, but she doesn't have anything to worry about.
And tonight she's got the game face on.
It's all tied back, so you don't have to worry about it. If you had to guess how many bobby pins are in there, more than 10, I'm sure.
Love 1.
Oh, wow, we're on the subject. We saw Britt Erland getting the hairspray out the other night to keep everything in place when she toweled off, or at least a change.
It always fascinates me. I see Lily Zhang playing with hair-free Adriana Diaz, but most don't.
1-all.
As that one flies off the edge of the racket, they are back where they were in the first game, dueling.
Beautiful timing on that one. Short stroke. Wang-Yidi gives the head nod as if to say, okay, that was good, that was good. I see you.
So good. And she comes straight back. I love the way she goes about her work. Just processes, accepts, gives praise where it's due, as you said, and then wins the next point if she can.
Yeah, Wang-Yidi is very hardworking, very humble, and quick to adapt, which is, well, one of the many names of the game here.
2-3.
Would it play on her mind at all, this business about 6 finals lost since her last major success, Wang-Yidi?
I can't imagine she would waste any time. I don't think it would creep in there. I can understand why it would for many. At this point, this is priorities, right? You've got something in 3 days and you've got a clock ticking. You've got to be here for a broadcast. The stuff 3 days from now takes a back seat. She's got bigger fish to fry at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, thinking more broadly about this week here in Korea, she's given an opportunity.
You're thinking about it. She's not.
5-2.
Yeah, yeah.
Ask me a different way. I'm just kidding. Good times.
Yeah, she's the #1 seed. There's an opportunity, big one here. But you're right, it's not something you think about now, or even ahead of this match. But
it's interesting for us. I think at this level, you do whatever you can. This game is so much mental focus. I saw Lee Sang-soo right before his match, and I didn't dare say hi to him. And it's not because we're not friendly. It's because he was in the zone.
Fault.
Oh, called a fault.
2-7.
Did she gesture that it wasn't vertical or not high enough?
I didn't see it. I would imagine it was related to verticality, but it's just speculating.
7-3.
Yeah, the height. No, I mean, to me at least, by the time she's let go of the ball, when it's moving up out of her hand, it goes well beyond 16 centimeters. The warning before was for verticality, just like Wang Yi-di.
Yeah, she's been keeping a close eye, as she does.
8-3.
As she must, the umpire. Let's get back to the score. It's a 5-point game in the second, and she leads by 1 already. She's quietly getting this done.
3-9.
And every now and then just punctuates the performance with something like that. Yeah, that's 7 out of the last 8 points that she's taken. Too sharp.
This was crazy. This was a sneak attack. It came in out of nowhere, that flick.
7 game points as well. Good night.
11-3. Second game to
That one's
Wang.
still going. She takes the second game in the most emphatic way possible.
Just now entered Seoul. Gangnam next exit. No, that was quick initiative taken. Wang Yi-di showing some very bold, confident, fearless play. Double the points of her opponent, 22-11 so far. And the most dominant game yet was the one we just saw.
Well, the atmosphere is being stirred up here inside the Infinity Arena. Can the fans channel the spirit of Lee Sang-soo earlier on and get something? Oh, look, pink socks. And we are reliably informed that when Shin Yu-bin feels she needs that little bit of extra magic, she puts the pink socks on.
Yeah, I do the same thing with my hoodie, and it works.
I thought you were going to say you put your pink socks on.
Oh, I don't match socks. It feels wrong.
Why am I not surprised? So here we are. It's Wang Yi-di, the number 1 seed, looking the part right now against the number 8 seed. She leads by 2 games to love. 8-3, the scores.
Love 1.
What now for Shin Yu-bin?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was thinking about the Hina Hayata technique. Spin it slowly, take big shots when you earn them, but break rhythm early on. Very little passive play.
The ball was a blur.
That camera angle really gave us a sense of how crazy fast Wang Yi-di's shots are in this rally. She recoils, manages to generate extra pace with the racket already even that much closer to the net.
Breaking it up a bit there on the serve. Shin Yu-bin. And it yields a dividend.
Yeah, the parallel shots have been quite effective. Little bits of side spin here and there, but rhythm breaking to earn the big shots will be key.
Let's 2-1.
Surprise factor on the serve, staying close to the table. Short rallies.
1-3.
This is nice. Slows it way down. Moves in, commits, doesn't panic. If she plays this shot fast, she's burned on the backhand corner. You could already see Wang Yi-di saw the opening and was going right there, but the ball didn't meet her. Ball was late for the occasion.
Yeah, that was met with the approval of the coach. Right back at you.
Wang Yidi's mixed it up so well on the serves. This one was right into the body on the baseline, as deep as can be. Shin Yubin wanted to step around, but realized at the last moment there wasn't time.
4-2.
Lunging in on the push.
This is something that all table tennis players do at this level, relative to other competitive players. They're quick to decide. When I think the fastest, I think Truls, I think Alexi. Players that get it right off the bounce almost every time. They're just so quick to move, and Shin Yubin does that here to earn advantage.
Oh, nicely done. Found the edge, found the angle, found the paint.
For me, this is peripheral vision. She was very patient there. She moved in, she held back the racket just to make sure, and then decided last moment to go.
Pulled out that deep fast serve again. Just what Dr. Adam ordered, really, a few points ago.
Yeah, and with the pink socks, a bit of fortune there as well, clipping that out on the way over. Perfect calibration, closed racket for a heavy spin shot coming in. Wang Yidi has adjusted to a lot of difficult shots already in this match. And it's inside out. Did you see that? The way she fanned around the inside of the ball? Tongue out indeed. A delicious shot from your opponent.
6-4.
It's Viper-like in its effect when she decides to really bring that little bit of extra juice into that backhand, Wang Yidi.
John, you're an incredibly hard worker, and I think Team China has that in common with you. When you're beaten the way Wang Yidi was by Hina Hayata.
7-4.
I think you try to close that loophole. We can talk about it more. A fast exchange here as Wang Yidi turns after this long, fast backhand-to-backhand exchange. Earns that opportunity. She's going to make that, I'd say, 9 out of 10 times, but Shin Yubin keeps the quality on.
You talking about hard work earlier on. Just to finish that one off, and that's what she's been doing, Wang Yidi.
Well, I'm just thinking, for Team China, and any individual especially, there's this spirit of if somebody exploits a loophole in your game, it happened once, and you do everything you can to close that loophole.
Sure.
They silenced Mima Ito, Miu Hirano, Wang Yidi against Hina Hayata. If that happens again, I would be surprised. But it's understandable that it would encourage others to use similar tactics to make her uncomfortable.
This is where Shin Yubin needs to maintain that composure. She still has a significant advantage.
8-6.
Little surprised. Haven't heard anything yet. 2 serves to come here. 2 big points in a row for Wang Yidi. And in a best of 7, Shin Yubin is saving her timeout. Maybe just for 1 point. We'll see.
And it was a big point. And she takes it. And it's 9-6.
To cover the middle the way she does, Shin Yubin is the taller player. That right there, you could see the right leg came way forward, and she still maintained her balance. This is fitness. It is speed and balance to be able to stay in position. They're constantly trying to knock the other one slightly off balance, but Shin Yubin didn't budge. She didn't lose it.
But she can't extract maximum value from the services and has to just maintain that 2-point cushion.
Wang Yidi with the short stroke for the top spin coming in. Doesn't need as much backswing. Efficient. In position.
Wang Yidi will not go away. She will keep coming at her.
This could be the pivotal moment in this match, and the timeout here for Shin Yubin.
After 3 game points dropped, yeah, that one makes sense. She doesn't probably want to have to do this, sorry, no game points. Three-point advantage whittled away, I should say. But she knows it's as good as across the line, or at least she was.
제가 이제 서브 이거 이렇게 놓을 거잖아. 이렇게 넣어서 백으로 블레이드 있잖아. 그치? 안 그러면 접어서 적극적으로 들지 말고 약간 백미를 쪽으로 먼저 할 거야. 근데 자신 있는 거. 한 번. 어떻게? 하나를 들어볼래? 나오는 거 싶어. 그럼 이렇게 묶어서 백사하면서 적극적으로 해야 돼. 그것만 생각해. 근데 만약에 하다가 안 나왔어. 그럼 그냥 딱 줘. 그냥 이렇게 올리잖아. 이거 쭉 하고 미드로 쭉 하고 그다음에 또 백다운 하는데 너도 지금 스피드가 충분히 간단 말이야. 그러니까 하나씩만 너도 가운데로 할 거야. 그러니까 요것만 네가 가볍게 세게 받지 말고 살짝만 자, 승부하는 거야. 알았지? 자, 네 서브 때는 토트성.
We just showed the best of Shin Yubin. And we've seen the best of Shin Yubin in this third game. What does she do?
8-9.
What are we hearing about those instructions?
Well, the KTM, the Korean Translation Mafia, came through with take the initiative, be bold, do not be the passive player, look for the opportunity to attack. You have to imagine that means you're not forced to attack, but when you do, make it count.
9-all.
And now WANGYIDI has smashed her way back to parity.
That is the perfect positioning. Right through the elbow. Look at the serve percentage here. WANGYIDI just over 65%, just shy of 45. Shin Yubin.
And that really needed to not happen for Shin Yubin because it's game point now for WANGYIDI. Big moment indeed. You called it a couple of points back, and it just felt, didn't it, that once she squandered that lead and allowed WANGYIDI, or at least WANGYIDI managed to grab a run of points, that might just knock some stuffing out of the Korean favorite. Let's just check in on the WTT 100 club there. We know that some Incheon and New Harimoto have crossed the 100-point win barrier. WANGYIDI is not far off, 92, looking to make it 93 right now. Shin Yubin's on the list with 83 as well. And some are more important than others. Right now, all they're focused on is what's happening here. 3 games to love.
Love all.
I got distracted thinking about the fact that Miwa Harimoto can end this event potentially ahead of Sun-Ying Sha in WTT wins. That's pretty interesting, huh? Fighting for survival here, Shin Yubin.
Love 1.
Just to credit WANGYIDI, I think, one, she's the #1 seed. We've seen the form Shin Yubin is in. She's been incredible, unstoppable. She's met the #1 seed who's had some tough times, and it's built character.
2 love.
This is getting serious for Shin Yubin now because WANGYIDI will show no mercy. She'll close this out. We saw the similar thing from Zhu Yiling earlier on. Oh.
2-1.
When the opportunity presents itself, it's not going to be overlooked or ignored.
No mercy indeed. I think those are the perfect words to describe this from both sides. But of course, one player with a serious advantage. 3-0 now.
2-all.
This is nice. I just imagine, I know you love dogs, when you put the biscuit on top of the nose and you say, wait, wait. That's exactly what happened here. There was a juicy treat waiting for a backhand rip, and she had to wait.
2-3.
We actually saw Shin Yubin build some success in that third game along similar lines, patience and mixing things up, only to just not quite get across the line when she was so tantalizingly close.
Yeah, Wang Yidi is not letting opportunities slip here.
3-all.
But it's the second time we've seen that slow, spinny backhand into the body, just enough to the backhand to keep Wang Yidi from stepping around. And still high enough, slow enough to be uncomfortable to time.
It wasn't there. So it's a tactic that works, but Wang Yidi has demonstrated she notes and she acts upon. And that will have happened, I'm sure, in terms of what she's seen coming at her from Shin Yubin.
5-3.
It's a taste of her own medicine there.
Yeah, this opportunity, the taller of the two gets on top of this one and straight behind it, spin one and the drive forward. It was casual. In the replay, you could see how low that ball stayed. Smart play, the positioning here. Shin Yubin could have tried to go deep to the wide corner on the forehand with this, but instead, it's right into it, and it holds up Wang Yidi and keeps Shin Yubin from being exposed with a cross-court counter.
4-6.
Cool, calm, and composed. Takes a lot to phase Wang Yidi.
I thought you were describing the ball kid at first. I was like, yeah, he was really composed.
Let's 4-6. That's
what she does so well. There was a bit of a head of steam building up for Shin Yubin, and Wang Yidi's just nudged her way back almost level.
6-all.
And now she is. And Shin Yubin has to work hard all over again.
You know, I'm friends with Sofia Polkanova, who joined me in the commentary booth yesterday, which was excellent. She had a warm-up with Wang Yidi, and I said, what was it like? She said, it took me a while to get used to it because the quality on every shot, especially her backhand, was unlike anything I'd ever practiced with before. We're seeing it in action out here.
6-7.
There's never a good time for that.
This was not as easy as it looked. This was quite inside the baseline. Somehow she manages to maneuver and still get a full stroke with this forehand. From that camera angle, it looked level, but I think that's just the camera angle. We saw it first. Inside the baseline, stole the attack.
7-8.
Those are two really encouraging points for Shin Yubin, who gets her nose back in front.
Good amount of underspin on this as she increases the racket speed to brush the ball with a very fine contact.
8-all.
But it's 8-all, and we've been here before, very recently.
Wang Yidi has delivered when it's counted. Shin Yubin has started strong in many a game. Wang Yidi has finished strong in every game.
But there's a chance, and I got ahead of myself and gave her some game points last game where she's getting close again. But sealing that particular deal is mighty tough. Now she has a chance.
Investing in the spin, this one now with 2 game points, you could just feel that Wang Yidi was backing up and bracing for impact. And watch what Shin Yubin does. Heavy spin. That ball just brushed right over the top of it. Didn't get behind it much at all. Wang Yidi. It's on the wrist there. Wrist bear?
11-8. 4-game to
And
Shin.
that is Shin Yubin on the board. It's taken her 4 games to do it, but she's there. You might say her game's in the pink of good health right now, and she's alive and kicking here in Incheon.
Nice soft block, guiding forward a little, but not playing too aggressive, something a little bit awkward. The Shin Yubin fans will be thrilled to see her fight another game. Hope is still alive, and we've got game 5.
Time.
You take encouragement wherever you can find it, and when you're taking on the #1 seed, as Shin Yubin is, she'll take that.
5th game, 1 to serve.
Because she
Love
did
all.
what she hadn't done the game before. She closed it out. She was smart all the way through, executed a game plan, and has given WANGYIDI something to work on, an extra game to play.
Block 1.
And then the crowd becomes a factor. Stirred up during that break, in fine voice right now. And can Shin Yubin ride that wave of support?
One all.
She was in position. You could feel the panic there. We saw this happen once, I think a day or two ago, where someone adjusted quickly after that. And the next one came back with topspin, but the flat hit didn't have any topspin on it. Not enough anyway.
One, two.
Had to deal with a couple of awkward balls there.
The awkward ones with the heavy spin, the Hina Hayata tactic. I was just thinking back to the game before and how it's doubly effective for Shin Yubin because it reminds herself that she can do this, and it reminds WANGYIDI she's got
3-1.
something to worry about. But WANGYIDI not phased so far with 75% of the first 4 points, just keeping it cool.
So often the hardest thing, all the effort that goes into winning a game and the euphoria that goes with it, and suddenly it's like, okay, now come at me again.
Right. It is tricky. You do the unthinkable once, and then you have to do it another 3 times in a best of 7.
1-5.
Because it's 5-1 now, or 1-5, with Shin Yubin serving, and very quickly WANGYIDI is reminding us that that game's history.
Yeah, there's a stoic approach to this. She can't change the past, so she's just taking this point by point and doing well so far in the 5th.
1-6.
And it was always a game of catch-up there for Shin Yubin. Seen it before, she does it so well. When she makes her mind up to go, she commits.
Margins are so fine out here. This serve, shovel serve, comes just deep enough to the backhand that WANGYIDI doesn't hesitate. She steps around and securely plays it deep to the backhand.
8-1.
And this is now running away from the Korean.
Yeah, WANGYIDI doing a wonderful job to take control again. She's grown a lot mentally over the years, no doubt about it. She's come to rise, being the top seed here.
1-9.
Before this one gets done, let's just remind everybody it's Chu Yuling who awaits in that semi-final. At the moment, it looks like it's going to be a former Team China player against a current one.
Not just a former Team China player, former world #1.
who is in sensational form right now, but Shin Yubin's not going to go down without a fight.
Wang Yidi's made shots like this in the deep end of games, which is the scary thing. This change of heart at the last moment. Waits, racket high, shuffles the feet a few times for a flat punch. If that ball comes down, it's tough to return. It comes back into the net time and time again.
And she's nearly there. It's now 7 match points for the #1 seed. As impassive as she was on the first point. She is on the last as she gets it done. 11-3. And despite that mini fight back by the home player, it's Wang Yidi who shows her class. Taking out the first 3, surrendering the 4th, but bouncing straight back at him, as the best players do.
We saw it earlier today with Lin Rinru and Sora Matsushima. And Wang Yidi knows that in terms of time, these might be the best years of her life. Where she is now, the next few years, the WTT era, it's the first year we've got 4 grand smashes and a packed calendar. There is a lot to play for. And with the absence of the world #1 and the world #2, Wang Yidi has a chance to climb the ladder here. And she gets through a strong opponent, the world #10, Shin Yubin.
So the Korean fans have seen a man make it through to Sunday in the final day, but not the woman who was hoping to get there. And Shin Yubin beaten 4-1 here across just 37 minutes. And that tells you a bit about how good Wang Yidi was here today. Strong serve, put together runs of points when she needed them, and always bounced back when her opponent threatened to get back into this match. So that is how that one was won by Wang Yidi. And now, having told you from a commentary perspective what happened, we can hear in her own words what has happened and what may yet happen here in Incheon for the #1 seed. Our co-commentator Fraser Riley has made his way down to the floor to ask the questions. So let's now hear from Wang Yidi.
Congratulations, Wang Yidi. A very strong performance. You're through to the semi-finals here. This is your 9th meeting against Shin Yubin, and you've managed to keep your unbeaten record against her. What was your approach today?
恭喜易迪成功闯入半决赛。你和申宇彬也交手过很多次，今天是第9次嘛。然后今天也是他的主场，自己是怎么取得胜利的呢？
我觉得跟申宇彬交手的次数其实还是很多的吧。我觉得整体来说还是要做好自己吧，因为在近期亚洲杯上也有一些交手吧，可能相互之间还是比较了解吧。我觉得主要今天打的还是比较冷静吧，所以能够赢下比赛。
Yes, it's true that I play a lot against Yubin, and every match against her I have to prepare very well. And I recently played her, I think, in the Asia Cup. And I think because of the number of times that we have played, we actually know each other's style very well. Today, I think I was very calm throughout the match, and I think that was what made me win the match today.
It certainly looked like it. And next you play against former world #1 Zhu Yuling. You've played against her once internationally before, that was 6 years ago. What's your approach to that semi-final match against her tomorrow?
半决赛将面对朱雨宁选手，你在6年前也跟他交手过一次，他现在状态也是非常好，自己在半决赛会做什么准备呢？
我觉得跟玲姐已经很久没有交过手吧，可能在6年前的时候其实已经很早了，她也是近期复出1年多一点吧。我觉得能够再次跟他比赛，我觉得还是非常开心吧。我觉得他的状态也是非常的好，连续赢了早田跟大藤，所以我觉得明天将是一场非常艰苦的比赛吧。我觉得非常开心再次跟他交手。
Yes, I have not played her in a very long time, and she has just came back last year, and she seems to be in a very good condition. She has defeated Hina Hayata and also Satsuki Odo, and I'm very, very happy to be able to get the chance to play her again, and I think it will be a very, very tough match tomorrow.
Well, good luck. Great to watch you play as always. See you tomorrow.
明天见，谢谢。
There's a lot of respect then in the words, the voice of WANGYIDI. She spoke about Zhu Yuling, her semi-final opponent. Adam, why don't you have a quick say on that one? That promises to be awesome, immense.
Yeah, it's so cool to see someone come back. It's rare.